It's great to hear the networking that's already going on. But I think we need to make a start. Sorry about the slight delay. The printer's got the order of the brochure just slightly wrong, so you will have seen that, as Paula said, the craft work going on, the craft work teamwork going on to reorder them, and they will be coming in from the back and filtering down, and so in that you will have a description of the day and also the speakers. So welcome to the fourth showcase event for the public health at Cambridge, and this, as you know, is a strategic network, and I'll say a bit more about it at the moment. It's great to see so many people, both from, as it were, the public health community up at the Addenbrooke site, but also across the whole of the university, and also from partners outside the university. So our colleagues from the public health system and wider. So I think we're going to have a really terrific day. It's a wonderful lineup that Larry and Paula have worked on, and we're very grateful to all the speakers for having agreed to come and give us their wisdom. So this year's showcase, as you know and signed up for, is I think, almost the most important topic in public health, and one which is underinvested in and not as prominent as I think it ought to be. And that's I'm coming at that from the perspective of originally a basic epidemiologist working in a single disease area. And I have come over my career to understand so much more about the whole interaction of society and global society, and why it is so difficult to achieve anything at the micro-individual level unless we have a really good understanding of what's going on at all the levels in between, up to sort of the global society. So I'm really very, very pleased that Larry has worked with Paula to produce this great lineup. So we need to understand the economic, social, political, and historical forces which basically shape all of our health and our quality of life as well. I think that's just sort of incredibly important, the aspect of quality of life and sustainability in the longer term. Sustainability of societies, systems, and the global environment. So most of you in the audience are familiar with the network itself, but some of you are not. So we were established in about 3 years ago, and the aim of the network is to bring together a diversity, or the wonderful, rich diversity of people working in public health relevant areas across the university. They may not necessarily think of themselves as public health researchers, but the work that they do is highly relevant to population health and public health. So it covers history, as well as economy, as well as architecture and engineering, and so the whole raft of things that influence our lives and our well-being. We've got about 1,000 people on Paula's mailing list, of whom a substantial number are signed-up members, but 1,000 people get the mailings on the public health activities that are going on, and so there's a gradual increasing awareness of the public health community within the University of Cambridge, but we know that it will take time, and we need, obviously, everybody's help in order to promote that network and bring in other people who are who are active in the area. So if this is the word cloud is from the people's keywords and interests, so when you're a member you can put in what your interests are, and this identifies the sort of areas of activity and what people say about their doing within Cambridge. If you want further information, the website is, I guess you're all, how many of you are members? Many people, but if those who aren't, do join, and the website then has quite a lot of detailed information, and do give us feedback on what's useful on the website. So the sorts of things that we do in the network are try to coalesce areas of interest, and that can kind of bubble up from the ground, classic Cambridge stuff, so that if you think, I think there'll be about 20, 30 people across the university who might be working in this area, and I'd really like to bring them together, talk to Paula about how we've created these particular networks. So we have health economics at Cambridge, evidence at Cambridge, that's bringing together the systematic reviewers, and social analysis of health at Cambridge has joined us as well, and use of evidence in law and public health. So these are network activities that have been going on, but there are also other activities that have happened. So we had a series of workshops in the early part of the network's life, and one of those was on ageing, and what emerged from that was a Wellcome Trust application. It wasn't successful, but we got through with an application, a concept of a translational centre in global ageing to the very latest stages. So it is a platform to bring together our expertise and our interests for new areas of work and to get ready for new initiatives and any kind of combined groups discussing things. Ideas spin out and then grants are written. It doesn't necessarily recognise the network, but what we want to do is to get conversations going that lead to the best research possible for public health and for future society. So we have been active in terms of trying to sort of consolidate our teams, and we now have a research funding coordinator who's Tenny Vidler, who's also been very heavily active in organising and sort of supporting this meeting, and so great thanks to her as well as to Paula. And public health policy pilot, Lauren Milden. Is Lauren here? She's still stapling. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so the team is still outside. A public health policy pilot, which many of you have been involved in, which is trying to identify areas of research which have major impact. We found that that's a very popular activity, and we hope that that will be sustainable and grow, because for all of us, we need help to bring our findings into the public domain in a way that it really does help to transform and change things. So and as I've said, we've got good engagement with our localities, so we actually have folk from the local authority here and also from the local clinical commissioning group, so you're very welcome. Right, so if you're interested in following any of these things up, here are the details. Get in touch with Paula, and get in touch with me, get in touch with Tenny, and any of us will try to help in terms of what the interests that you have. So on to the day itself. Larry is the architect of the meeting, and you'll hear more from him later on. And this morning, what we have, and what you'll see in your brochure when you get it, is that we've got a series of lightning talks, and they're going to be very strictly timed by Robbie Dushinsky, who's going to chair this session. And Robbie has joined us relatively recently as a lecturer in social science and in the primary care unit, and is very helping to strengthen the social science up at the institute. So Robbie, over to you.
Thank you.